Sydney, sorry.
Hello, District 25. Welcome to episode 11 of 25 with Tech 25. We made it past the 10 episode mark, and they're keeping us on. So that is a great thing. I'm Tim Higgins, Secretary here in District 25. Joined with...
I'm Andrew Benton, Data and Systems Specialist here in Tech 25.
And we have Chris Fano over here practicing ping pong. He is too busy doing that today to join us, so we'll have to excuse him for today. But instead of Chris Fano, we have Jen Smith joining us from over at South Middle School today. And in just a second, we're going to have her talk a little bit about our topic today, which is sharing, communicating outside of the classroom, and in this case, specifically with parents. So I guess with that, we'll just turn it on over to Jen and hear what she has to say. Hey, Jen.
Hi, you guys. Thanks for having me on. It's pretty exciting that I am number 11 and I'm taking Chris Fano's place. I'm sure going to say a lot more than he would.
That's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping.
All right, so at ICE this year, I didn't actually get to present this presentation because I lost my voice. So that was kind of a bummer. But I'm excited that I get to share the news here. One of the things that I've become kind of passionate about here at South, and also because I'm a mom, is helping teachers get the good news that's going on in their classroom outside of the classroom to the parents. And one of the tools that I think that we have sort of looked at and I've tried to promote here at South is the smartphone. Every parent has a smartphone, and really for me and my kids, I have 3. I like when the teacher emails me or sends me a link to something that is, pictures or the homework assignment or an oral reading of something that my child did right to my cell phone. Because the truth is, I get so much backpack mail from my 3 kids that I become completely overwhelmed by the amount of paper, and I try to get rid of the paper as quick as I can. So if they sent home a newsletter, I may not read it or I may not see it. And I feel like, my smartphone and my inbox has become kind of my spot for communication. So the more the things to my email, the more I actually look at them and then, spend time communicating with them. And I'll be honest, the teachers who communicate with me the most are the ones I love the most. They get the biggest gifts. They get nice emails to their principals. I volunteer in their room. And I feel like I am super happy with the education that my kids are getting because I feel like I know what's going on. My biggest struggle as a mom, honestly, is having kids in school because I feel like up until they went to school, I knew every minute of every day what they were doing. And then as soon as they went to school, it was like, I have no idea. I don't even know what their classroom looks like. So I put together a presentation that I think we'll share out with you guys or share with you through Google Drive, and you can get to it any which way. It's pretty easy. It's online. But basically, the tools that I am promoting are, well, obviously pictures. And for me, pictures speak 1,000 words. So just one picture that comes back from my kid's classroom of my kid doing something makes me feel so good about what's going on. And then it also gives me great opportunity to have a real conversation with my kid at the dinner table, because every time I ask them how was school, they're like, fine. What'd you do? Nothing. What was the best part? Recess. Well, if I see a picture of them reading, or working with a B-bot or something, then I'm like, well, so what was that B-bot that you were working with? Or what story were you reading? It looked like you were really into it. Or I saw you weren't wearing your glasses today. Did you wear them? So it's a great way to sort of feel like you're a part of the classroom. And, some of my friends on Facebook also feel that same way. So in my presentation, I talk about all these moms have started to share and talk about how much they appreciate seeing their own kids inside the classroom during the day, and that they also love their teachers more because they know more about them and they feel like they're a part of the room. So that being said, how do you get that information into the parents' hand in their smartphone? Well, Google Forms is a great way to do that. You can use Google Forms to collect email addresses, and then you can form a group or a contact list inside your email so that whenever you share anything, you can just put, to your own classroom and it goes to all your parents at once. So Google Forms is a good one, and I think you guys talked about that, right, Tim?
Yeah, absolutely. We do have From 2 weeks ago, I
Yeah, I
believe,
think
or
it was
3 weeks ago, we did do the Google Forms. But this is another great way that I don't think we really mentioned in terms of getting outside parent information and feedback. So that is an awesome way to go about using it.
right. And so one of my favorite tools, after you've gotten their email address and you have contact information for them, one of my favorite tools is Animoto. And Animoto gives you really beautiful movies, and you know the kids here use it. Like the 8th graders just made projects with it, also on reform. So it's like a really multi-use tool that's very simple. It's you can download an app that for your iPhone, which is kind of what I do, and I encourage teachers to do. And then they take pictures of the students while they're learning throughout the day or throughout the week, and then they just put it into Animoto. And Animoto puts in beautiful transitions and nice themes and all kinds of things for you right away. You pick the music, and then you click produce, and boom, it's done. So Animoto is a really good way to get great information. And my kindergartner's teacher uses it all the time for recess and for things, or for special parties. You know, like the room moms will take pictures, or the teacher will take pictures during the parties at school, you know, Valentine's Day party, for instance, and then send out the link that same day, and it just feels great to see your kids so happy at school. And one of the things that I love about Animoto, too, is it's free. And then when you have an account, you can then ask to get a free upgraded educator account, and all you do is Google free educator account for Animoto, and you can fill in the information about your school, and within like 10 seconds you get a little coupon code that then you would put into your Animoto account online, and you, instead of having just a free account for 30 seconds, which what can you do with 30 seconds? Not much. You can have an unlimited length of movie. So that's a really great tool. The other one I wanted to highlight, which I think is a pretty powerful tool just for all kinds of things, but it's a great way to get quick pictures out to parents, is called ThingLink. And I'm not sure if you've seen it. I'm going to try and screen share with you. I'm going to get all fancy. Let me see. Screen share. I'm going to share my presentation with you, and then you can see ThingLink. So this is what ThingLink looks like. And when you click on ThingLink, you click on the image, it takes you to a spot, and you can put, so let's say you wanted to explain what centers were like in your room. You upload a picture, and then you put in these little hot spots. And I don't know if you can see them. Can you see them, Tim?
Yeah, we can. We're seeing it great.
Okay, great. So you see these little hot spots, and then you can put in links to things like a YouTube video, or you could put in, you know, the kids could then explain what was thinking, and you could just type in information. You can link to voice threads or other ways. So it's just a great way for parents to see, oh, well, this is me doing, you know, shared reading, and today they asked the craziest questions. So it's a quick and easy tool. Again, it's just one picture, and it maybe takes 10 seconds to put in each little link, and boom, you have this really great visual to then send home. So you would just copy this link for this actual ThingLink and email it to your parents, and there they have a window into your classroom. 10 seconds. Let's see what the next one is that I wanted to show you. And then Linuit is a similar way of doing it also. Linuit is online. Here, and this is what Linuit looks like. Can you see it, Tim? Let's see.
Yeah, we can.
All right, great. So Linuit is also free, and it's almost like a bulletin board. You see how I'm moving around on the bulletin board? So you could put on, you know, the kids could do it. Instead of like a newsletter, you could have the kids create a newsletter that is online, and then they put in little Post-it notes, and you can put in pictures, as you can see here. And you can put in like explanations to map and how it works, so that we're going to be doing map testing next, you know, week, or, you know, this week we talked about this or that inside the social emotional program, and then you have it all in one place. You can link videos also, and then you would just send home this link to the Linuit to your emailed group again. So it's another great way, and this one is actually, multiple people can work on this at once. So if you wanted students to, this could be a center in your room, or, you know, a new job. You could have a photographer and a, you know, a newspaper writer, and those kids could then do this as part of their centers or part of their class time work or their morning work, and then you can send it home with a link, easy peasy, to your to your parents. So what else did I wanted to show you? Oh, so sometimes, and I'm sure you've done this before, when you have something online that's like a huge long link, sometimes it looks kind of ugly. So one of the best tools that I am promoting here is called TinyURL, and it's not a very fancy, and there's all kinds of them. They're called URL shorteners. You can use one, Google has one too, but I love TinyURL because you can customize what you want the ending to be. So it could be as easy as I drop my Linuit. So let's say I didn't like this big long Linuit. It's kind of an ugly link. It doesn't look pretty. It's not memorable. And you drop in your long link, and then you click in here and you can create a custom alias. So I would put like Mrs. Smith's News or Mrs. Smith News 1. And then you make the TinyURL small, and it will let you make a TinyURL that is customized so that it can have your name in it or the student's name. So it's just a great way. It's like, my neighbors will say, hey, did you see, George's homework this week? And I'll be like, no, what are you talking about? And then they'll say, oh, what was the link? And then they'll say, was TinyURL, Mrs. George 1, and then I can type that right into my phone right as we're standing, watching the kids play in the backyard. So a TinyURL is a great way to get the news out also to anything. You can link your Google Docs to that, a YouTube video, you can link homework pages, an Edline page, anything. So those are my good tips, you guys.
That is awesome, Jen. Thank you for taking the time out to do it. I just had just a question or two. So all of those different sites, the Forms, Animoto, ThingLink, Linuit, those are all free?
All free. I believe in free.
Absolutely. No, that is awesome. Are there, and for any of them, do they have sort of paid versions that so maybe you don't get all the features on the free one, but you get enough to kind of manage?
Animoto, you can spend a lot of money, but there really isn't a reason, especially with that. If you Google free Animoto account, even when you go into your free account, you'll see some premium features. Mm-hmm. You don't really need to use them. I will say if you're going to download Animoto on an iPad, they don't have an iPad app. They only have an iPhone app. So you want to make sure that when you're in the App Store, you say iPhone.
Okay.
And Animoto, and then it works just fine on the iPad, but they don't have an iPad app.
Got it. Great.
And all of those other ones also have apps. Linuit and ThingLink have apps. So if you have a classroom, one iPad or two iPads, it's a great way for kids to take kind of control of that. They could take a picture and then add in the links. You could check it and then send that home to their parent.
Yeah, no, and thank you for sharing, because these are great ways that kind of are keeping up with our times, where people and parents and all of us, can't as easily find the time, I suppose, to be involved, and this makes it nice and easy and convenient for all of them. And with that, I guess, have you heard any feedback from?
Oh, yeah. I mean, right away, the teachers who started to do it feel like, oh my gosh, I'm getting all this information, and it's good news information. The communication that I get from a parent isn't like, well, how come my Johnny has 13 out of 15 and really, or a 4 or a 3+, and he should have a 4 on this. They're like, wow, it was so great to see that going on in gym class, and I loved having the conversation at the dinner table, and they get lots more positive information back from parents, and I think that just helps create a really powerful team between home and school.
That is awesome.
Jen, this is Andrew. In doing the show, we knew that having guests on from the classroom level would be really beneficial for the show. We can do our best to try to get to that level, and try to, when we come up with a topic, try to come up with practical examples like that. But that rocked. That was great, and I think people are really going to appreciate your practical teachings.
No problem. So you guys, if anyone is interested in getting a copy of my resources, I can just send me an email, jsmith@sd25.org, and I'll hook you up for sure.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Jen.
All right, bye, you guys. Have fun.
See you later.
Thank you.
I love this, by the way. I think it's a really great way to get get your training on. It's great. I love listening to it. When I'm cooking dinner later, I just click the link, and then I can hear it in the background, and I feel like I'm still learning even though I'm making dinner.
I love it.
Perfect. That's the way to do it.
All right, bye, you guys.
See you later.
And I love the get your training on. I think that could be a motto.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm actually going to probably write that one down. Get your training on.
Write that down.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
All right, bye.
See you later.
See you, Jen.
So yeah, so those are all awesome examples, and kind of the reason too. We were starting to go in this direction of having guests. We want to. We've said it, I think, several times before. Of the fact that we want to make District 25 a full community all together, because there's lots of great ideas happening all over the place. So if you do have anything that you're using that you think other people may not be, or even if you think people might, and usually there's somebody who isn't using it yet, let us know, because we would love to share the cool things that you guys are doing in your classrooms on the show. Whether that means you coming here and sitting in with us live, or doing what we just did with Jen, which was doing a Google Hangout, or just sending us a video clip. We can roll that into the show as well.
And you may be worried about the technology used to have Jen come in, but honestly, it's made to just hit a couple buttons and she's on. So don't worry about that part. And of course, we'll help you out in getting that done. So we don't want that to be a barrier.
Absolutely. And so I guess kind of going a little bit with the theme, I wanted to share one other thing that's actually from another one of our staff members who's actually been on the show before, Caitlin Fikes, over at, she works both Greenbrier and Ivy Hill as one of the tech facilitators. So Jen gave us all these awesome resources for being able to kind of share the classroom experience with your parents or with colleagues across the district. And we have a lot of different sort of individual ways of showing that. Caitlin is doing something cool using a website called Weebly to sort of kind of consolidate everything in one place, so that there is it's a kind of a one-stop shop for everything. And I'm just going to share that with you briefly while I talk a little bit about it, if I can figure out where the heck I put it. There it is. So Weebly it's a website that allows you to build your own website. And the nice thing about it is that there's really no coding involved. It's like sort of a template-based web creation tool. And it lays it out, kind of how you'd start a Word document if you were using one of the templates to make a newsletter or something like that. Weebly allows you to lay out a really nice looking website without the time and the sort of tedious nature of coding. And you can see here, Caitlin over at Greenbrier and Ivy uses it for communication with the students by posting different like projects and resources, uses it for sharing similar or useful resources with the staff, and it's sort of this window into what's going on in the school to kind of keep the transparency between parents and the building flowing as well. And we can see, we've got all these great little drop downs with different things. One of the things I thought was pretty cool is they have all of the morning announcements. So the kids at Greenbrier film their morning announcements every day, and they post them up here. So a parent asks little Susie what they did today, she can bring mom and dad to the website and show them the announcements that they had recorded that day. So Weebly is another really kind of neat resource, very useful for sharing that classroom experience out to the community, out to your parents. Which brings us back here for our last couple of minutes. As always, any questions that come out, comments, concerns, ideas, if you just tweet them at HSD25Tech or email us at tech25@sd25.org. We love to hear from you. So Andrew, how's it going?
Do you have anything else, or was that it?
That was mostly what I've got here in terms of sharing, and that kind of, I guess, brings us to the end of our sharing segment today. But as we've kind of been playing around, I guess, with our format for this show, I've been kind of thinking it's kind of a neat idea to sort of, I guess, end the show with something else cool that we could talk about, so that we have something interesting for all levels of our viewers, I guess. And I know that there's something that you really dig
Yeah.
in terms of kind of automating life a little bit, making kind of neat things happen, and making computing a little bit easier for you. That I thought we'd kind of take the last couple of minutes to just mention.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. It's I see we have 5 minutes left, so I think this topic actually could be maybe not a whole episode, but so I think I'm just going to sort of start it, and then maybe we'll dedicate some time to another session. What I hope you'll do is research it in the meantime. It is called If This Then That. So it's ifttt.com. Would you be able to bring that up?
Yeah.
Sorry, I never told Tim that I was going to be. If This Then That, ifttt.com. The way that they call themselves is IFT. And so what it basically does is you have all of these, there's all the websites in the world, there's all the apps in the world, there's all of these picture push notifications that are popping up on your screen from, I don't know, maybe NBC News or Yahoo Weather or something like that. This is very much like that. So you set up what are called recipes. And these recipes are basically if this, which basically is a trigger, then that. And so that would be the action. The best way to explain some of this is to give you examples. And so there happens to be an app out there. It's called App Zap. So that what that app is doing is perusing the Apple web store, Apple store, and what it's doing is trying to find as best it can apps that were paid, and maybe for a day, you've probably all seen this, maybe for one day or for a week or something, a company will decide to make it free. It detects that and emails you that. So the if is with this app finds free, moved to free apps, then email me about it, or then text me about it, or then send it to an Evernote that I have created. So you see that you can work with your own Gmail, you can work with the actual SMS or text function of your phone, you can work with even your Evernote app. Another thing you can do is basically if this then that. The if this is RSS feed. So if you have maybe a particular topic, education related or whatever interest you have, you utilize a recipe that goes and looks for articles, maybe from anywhere with RSS feed, maybe from someone specific that's your go-to, like New York Times comes out with an education related story. That can be the action could be to dump that link and the title and the blurb into a Google Doc or into a Google Sheet. Again, maybe to your text, maybe to your email. There's more that this can do. There's, if you think about the location services that are on your phone, and this is maybe a little scary, but I just want to mention it because it's the breadth of if this then that. If your phone detects that you have entered school, and there's ways that you can do that, you might have your phone set to do something when you get home. If you enter your school area, all of your notifications can be muted. And so you can utilize the functions of iOS to create an if this then that recipe. I think that's pretty cool.
And I guess before I had said that this has sort of been a different topic, but really, we're kind of talking about communication today. It's really a way of getting technology to just communicate with you.
I was telling Tim that another one that I saw is if you're running your school website or your own classroom website, I was telling him that we can set up a recipe where right when he posts this live show to his YouTube channel, a tweet can automatically be generated. And so that's probably something you'll see in a couple weeks.
Yeah, definitely today.
So there are just a couple things that, there's always a little bit of work that has to happen. So there are what's called channels, and you do have to activate these channels. There are times where you're on If This Then That's website, and it feels a little bit funny because they're asking for maybe your Gmail. I did my personal Gmail username and password. I mean, it's something that if you're the kind of person that gets freaked out about that, I don't know, maybe it's not for you, but I I guess I'm trusting them that I did have to give them a little bit of info for some of these accounts just to make some of these things happen. So I am telling you, there are a couple of things that you have to do to make it live and to make it happen. But honestly, once it happens, it's great. There's all this education related stuff. One of the things is to send. Actually, I won't even bother with that. There could be something personal, like have fun with this thing. It could be if NASA or National Geographic has a photo of the day, send it to me. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of really cool things like that. I think what's really nice is that idea of it sort of perusing the internet for you, doing the work for you, and then when you have the time to sit down, you might open your Evernote, or you might open that Google Doc where you're dropping things in, and basically then with that time, it's all been sort of collected for you, and you can take the time to go through there. I know that there's websites that do that. I know that this isn't brand new, that idea, but if this, then that is really, really pretty good at it. You can also, last thing, you can also embed these recipes back to the web designer. If you do have a website, you can embed some of these recipes into your website so that it's sort of going out and it's going to pull, whatever related articles or tweets using a certain hashtag that you told it you want it to go find. Maybe your school's handle, anytime that's mentioned, it can drop right into the school, your website, your web page. So anyway, you see that this can be pretty big. Maybe we'll spend some more time on it. It's ifttt.com. If this, then that. Absolutely, take a look. It's really cool. Let me know if you have any questions on it.
Cool. Thank you, Andrew, for doing our first cool tip or trick of the day. I think is we're going to start doing that in the future. So that brings us again to the end of our 25 minutes. Again, thank you for watching. And as always, you can email us here at, that's me, or that's Brad. Maybe it's not up here anymore. I think I saved over it. tech25@st25.org. We'll get you into contact with us, and we will hopefully see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks.